באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato leTzion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hatol shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael lashalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Ose shalom, shalom bimromav, Oyase shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oyase shalom. Amen.
one of the benefits of our current situation for me and my family is that Cantor Hayut and I do Tat Shabbat. I'm in this same room in my basement, and then I run upstairs and have dinner with my family, and then come back down and lead this service with all of us here this evening. And so we were talking at the dinner table about the sermon I'm giving in a few moments, and I was talking about the spies and the wandering in the desert for 40 years, and Molly said, "Yeah, I thought." I thought that the Israelites would have been punished with the wandering in the desert for the golden calf, not for the spies. I mean, and it's such an important recognition of our tradition that it could have easily been the golden calf moment that God could have said, "This is the punishment for that." The wandering in the desert for 40 years. But it wasn't. It was this moment. It was the doubt of this moment that caused God to punish the Israelites, to say, maybe it is impossible when you've experienced certain things in life to fully appreciate, to fully find freedom. And maybe it's only possible after you've experienced certain things in life that you can find and appreciate that freedom. We chant, or I should say, Cantor Hayut chants for us the spies returning and offering their assessment of the land.
וישובו מתור הארץ מקץ 40 יום וילכו ויבואו אל משה ואל אהרון ואל כל עדת בני ישראל אל מדבר פרן קדשה וישיבו אותם דבר ואת כל העדה ויראום את פרי הארץ ויספרו לו ויאמרו באנו אל הארץ אשר שלחתנו וגם זבת חלב ודבש היא וזה פריה אפס כי אז העם והיושב בארץ והערים בצורות גדולות מאוד וגם ילידי הענק ראינו שם עמלק יושב בארץ הנגב והחיתי ואת היבוסי והאמורי יושב בהר והכנעני יושב על הים ועל יד הירדן ויעש כלב את העם את משה ויאמר עלות נעלה וירשנו אותה כי יכול נוכל לה.
Thank you, Cantor Hayut.
You're welcome.
And I don't think at some points in some chat on Zoom, I don't recall when, maybe this week, the past week, somebody asked, and I didn't have time to answer. Somebody asked about why we're not saying the blessings before we chant Torah. And so I talked about this when we first started, and I'll just say it again. Because that's we need reminders, of course, and we forget. When we were discussing chanting Torah, on these Zoom calls and what that means to chant Torah publicly, it just felt like the sort of sanctity of Aliyah uh, needed to be preserved for us returning together, so that when we all can make that Aliyah together physically in one place together, that we'll return to saying the blessings before and after the Aliyah. So it's just a way. It's just a way to help us uh, capture the moment that we're in, and eventually, when we return together, to capture that moment as well, God willing. If you are thinking of someone who is in need of healing and you'd like to share their name with us, please, after I've read through our communal list, please add their name to the chat box if I don't offer their name. Debbie Pissarak, Joanne Blumberg, Valentina Wolfson, Hillary Handwerger, Bridget Ford, Joel Berger, Margaret Leslie, Sydney Usum, Barry Hopkins, Buddy Tepper, Melissa Dorfman, Milton Child, Sherilyn Ford, Shmuel Natan Ben Avra Yaakova, Lauren Orzak, Aaron Scott, Jennifer Kinser, Valerie Carey, Sharon Israel, Nicole Levine, Lance Mermel, Rachel Mermel, Judy Silverman, Alan Dorfman, Rosalind Pollins, Miwa Lewis, Neil Townsend, Marilyn Mann, Marilyn Jeffs, Albert Rancourt, Mark Hodeling, Sooner Heath, Joan Cohen-Jones, Chuck Scott, Anne-Marie Herwagen, Duke Morrow, Milton Scott, Julie Frazier. We add to those names. Sam Silver, Carol Cohen, Jack Billy, Stephen Blackman, Dave Seeley, Margaret Hiss, John Kaplan, Robert Zinn, Stacy Young, Denise Labella, Michelle Eliashar, Richard Schreiberstein, David Gorwitz, Susan Barrett, Joanne Burkhart, Susan and Jack, Joseph Cospito, Marty Scott, George Ye, Adam Eggerman, Bobby. We pray for a full and speedy healing for all of those mentioned, for all of us, for this world that is in so much need of healing. May the source of strength, oh, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. It's too easy to blame the police. Yes, the police are culpable, but they're as culpable as the rest of us. The police are only the tip of a more than 4-century-long spear that we all hold in our country. It is a spear that even those oppressed by that spear are forced to carry. That is how deeply entrenched white supremacy and racism are in this country of ours. And just as we move to replace the head of the spear, so too we must remold the staff that supports it. The staff that is the foundation of the injustice too many people of color experience every day. This is not only the work of rooting out bad cops. It's the work of white people coming to terms with the history of our country. It is the work of recognizing and rectifying the past. It is the work of speaking openly and honestly. It is the work of listening to our black and brown brothers and sisters. Yes, listening would be a good start. The task is daunting. Changing a culture that has been permeated for over 400 years is no small thing. Changing hearts and minds is never easy, even without the generational hold. But we have done hard things before, and we must learn from lessons of the past. In this week's Torah portion from the book of Numbers, Shlach, Moses sends spies to scout the land God promised this people. The scouts return and give their report. They tell the people of the loveliness of the land, that it's full of produce, that it is indeed flowing with milk and honey. And the grapes they bought back to show the people are so heavy and bursting with juice, they needed a frame on which to carry them. And as we know, they also report something else. They report that there are giants in the land, that the land is full of other people. And the Israelites begin to cry out. Their fears begin to creep in, and all but 2 of the spies respond that they will in fact be unable to defeat these people, these giants. And the spies tell the people, "We looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them." It was in this one moment that the fate of the next 40 years is sealed. In this one moment of despair, our story changes. In this one moment, we've drifted from our power and begin our 40 years of wandering. So what was the sin that prompted God to punish the people with 40 years of wandering the desert, 1 year for each of the days the spies scouted out the land? Our sages tell us that God was not incensed with the Israelites doubting themselves. That's just a part of being human. No, it wasn't that they felt like grasshoppers that angered God. It was that they assumed they looked like grasshoppers to giants living in the land. They projected their own sense of inadequacy on the others, and this was the great sin of the Israelites. This is why the generation of slaves could not enter the promised land. They were never going to be able to enter the land because they believed it impossible. Not because of how they saw themselves, but because of how they thought they were seen. Not because they were weak, but because they thought others found them weak. Not because they were insufficient, but because they thought others saw them that way. Those Israelites of old failed to deepen their faith as they encountered difficulty. They failed to build their power as they anticipated trouble, but most importantly, they let their fears drive them forward. They let their despair lead the way. We stand at a precipice at this very moment, at the border of a promise. It is a mountain we've stood on before, but it is a land we have always failed to enter. it would be easy to be deterred. And it would even be understandable. Our doubts are real. Can this moment turn from an uprising in the streets to an upwelling in our hearts? Can the passion of so many cause an uprising in the souls of those who might otherwise turn aside? Can the hope of justice and the power of wholeness create an upwelling of spirit in our land? And can that upwelling shift our reality? Can it push our policies? Can it change us to our core? I believe it can. I believe it can because here's what I've spied in the land. I've seen multiracial movements led by people of color demanding change. I've seen day after day those movements taking to the street, provoked by a devastating economy that leaves greater impact on people of color, and a healthcare system that doesn't work for those same people, and incited to peaceful uprising because of the murder of George Floyd. And I've finally seen a white middle class that's starting to get it. The ingredients are all there. The moment is ripe. So ripe, we need a frame to carry the produce of equity, the produce of justice, the produce of reparations. But the giants are real too. The giants are also in the land, and they lay in wait. But I've seen these giants, and I know what they see. They don't see our fear. They see our faith. They don't see our despair. They see our determination. They don't see our hesitation. They see our heaving chests full of air, shouting for the justice that has yet to come. They don't see grasshoppers. They see people of faith, people of all colors, ready for the change that we will bring. It's true that policing is only part of the problem, but it is only the head of the spear in our country. But it is a problem. In the last 2 weeks, our country has changed. What we will tolerate has changed. As some of you may know, the Ann Arbor Police Department's contract is up for renewal. And I had planned to ask you tonight to contact Christopher Taylor, our mayor, and members of our city council to ask them to wait on voting on a contract renewal. Because the Independent Community Police Oversight Commission has asked them to do so. As a courtesy, I contacted our mayor, and I told him I was planning on having you all reach out. And he said to me that he already has written a motion to postpone the renewal of the contract, that he's received close to 1,300 contacts over the last 2 weeks around this very issue, and that while he welcomes anybody's contact on the particular issue, he's confident that he has the votes in the city council to delay the contract renewal for now. Not to end the police department in Ann Arbor. That isn't what he's talking about. That isn't what the city council is talking about. But to take stock, to not run into this moment, a moment that has clearly shifted the reality in our country. And so I encourage you, if you have not reached out to the mayor and to your city council members, please, if you'd like, please do so. And expect that Monday night they will vote to postpone the contract renewal so that they can do further assessing of how we move forward with our own police department in Ann Arbor. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will. I think you're seeing the wrong screen. Better? I think so. I got a smile from the cantor, so. We continue with Aleinu. If you're able, please rise, and do remember that we're using an alternative text, a more inclusive text for Aleinu on the very next slide.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Rock of Jacob, comfort of Rachel, broken and torn, shattered and crushed, bereaved and bereft, we declare your holy name. We praise your gifts and your works. You are author and artist, architect and builder, source and redeemer. We, the mourners of Zion and Israel, comfort each other. We console the lonely and embrace the lost. We cry each other's tears. Together we recall your wonder and your majesty. Holy One, ineffable Redeemer, guiding hand, gentle hand, loving hand, Light of Israel, you are our shelter. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Samuel Morgenstern, Jennifer Sisk, Doris Sperling, Marvin Struminger, Maury Silverman, and Maxine Schell. Our yard sites this week. Are for Jerry Baranek, Bernard Bloomfield, Betty Braver, Florence Califf, Joseph Cohen, Louis Davis, Michael Dietz, Robert Forsheimer, Serafina Friedler, William Gordon, Louis Grunner, Mayor Hermalin, Sadie Jones, Harry Josephs, Lyman Castleberg, Alfred Louis, Irene Louis, Alex Maybaum, Alta Oranger, Ruth Oser, Louise Palazzola, George Quint, Samuel Sauce, Alec Wiener, Richard Wright. If there are other names to add to our list for mourning, please do so in the chat box. Robert Tell, Jean Grossman, for all of those mentioned, for all of those who go unmentioned, excuse me, I think there's one more. Clarice Sidlow, and William Stark. We rise. Kadisha Tom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dachol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehe shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be forever a blessing. And once again, beautiful Kol Halev, thank you so much. And now we can just keep using that over and over and over again. It's perfect.
Exactly.
Yes. So announcements. I started my class last week. If you'd still like to join, there's definitely we can definitely get you in. And if you're still having trouble with the Hartman website, let me know, please. But all of our programming continues as usual. Join us tomorrow morning for Torah study and services, Havdalah, and Monday then all day long practically, in the morning, the afternoons. Tuesday, Rabbi Daniel's Talmud class. We got some book groups coming up. All good things happening. I know, of course, in particular, WTBE, which I always want to say is WTBE, it has lots of programming going on, lots of fun, cool stuff. There's some drinking that happens. Isn't that right, Trina? Cocktails. Yeah, I guess you don't have to drink if you don't want to, but cocktails. There's some cocktails and baking, and there's just good stuff. The other thing that I gotta be conscious of, with everybody else muted, I can just keep talking. I can keep going, and just, who knows when I'll stop. So WTBE cooking 3 to 5 this Monday. Awesome. Lots of great stuff. Thank you. Thank you to our staff. Thank you to WTBE leadership. Thank you to everybody who just makes this possible. And thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for being in our community. And if you're willing, I know maybe you think, oh, I'm not dressed appropriately, whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure why anybody turns off their video. Turn on your video. Let us see your smiling face. Share yourself with everybody else. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. So thank you. Yeah, if your room is messy, put up a virtual background or don't, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. All they want to do is see your smiling face. They want to scroll through here and see our congregation still gathering together. It's beautiful. So don't go anywhere. Just click through all of these beautiful people. And still don't go anywhere, because after we finish our service, stick around for a breakout room. Even if you've never done it before, it's easy. I create these breakout rooms. There'll be like 3 or 4 other people in the room with you, and it's very short. It's like 30 seconds to a minute. A minute. It's a minute. I'll do it for 1 minute, and all you have to do is say Shabbat Shalom. Just meet somebody new. Maybe see an old friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Who knows? That's the fun of it. You never know who you're going to wind up with. But if you don't like the people you're with, you only have to be with them for a minute. It's perfect. So, so stick around for the breakout rooms when we're done. I understand if you have to leave, but it's fun. You can stay for one. We usually do it 2 or 3 times. Stick around for that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now. Did we have a closing song planned?
Very quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Somebody's pinning me to ask about the book read that I'm starting. It's going to be on Thursday or Sunday. It's the same read, either join Thursday or Sunday. 11 a.m. on Thursday, 3 p.m. on Sunday. The book is called Queen Maker. You don't need to have it for this week, but order it so you can get it on time for when we start reading it. If you want to join me, it'll really be fun. So sorry about that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Regina. That's important stuff. And I'll also say about I'm not calling it a book club or group. I don't know what I'm calling it, but a read of how to be an anti-racist. The reason more information hasn't come out about it is because it's hard to get the book right now. I mean, a lot of these books that are about how to be an anti-racist, right? White fragility, how to raise white kids. A lot of these books you can't get right now except electronically. So I'm giving us some time, but if you're going to read it with us, try to find it or get it on Kindle or some other ebook and start reading with us. So, but we'll have a book discussion about that soon. In the next few weeks. It'll be a few weeks because I want to give people time if they absolutely have to have a physical edition. Okay. Did we have a closing song, Cantor Hayut? Did I put it in there?
We were going to sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Oh.
You game?
Yeah. I think I hold on one second. We'll get it. All right. All right. Chesed Yibane, Yalalai, 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 Olam Chesed Yibane, Yalalai, 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 Olam Chesed Yibane, Yalalai, Yalalai, Yalalai. Chesed Yibane, Yadanai, Yadai, Yadai. I will build this world from love. chesed yibane. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibane. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai, dai. Shabbat shalom. All right.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
So, let's go to those breakout rooms. Again, I'm only going to leave you in there for a minute. So make use of the time.
At the bottom. You did on top. Or you did it on top? Are we in a breakout room? Not yet. Yes, we are.
You're still with me. Ava, were you in a room by yourself? You don't. I'll say this next time. Yeah, I can't. Everybody's muted. If you want to talk, you have to unmute yourself.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Shoshana.
Hi, Ava. Hi, Rabbi. Hi,
Rick.
everyone. I got
So cute,
a new basketball.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
Very
Are you going to bring it to the park tomorrow?
Maybe.
Me and Shoshana and Trina are having a social distancing get together in the park tomorrow for the first time in 3 months. Right?
Yay.
Yay.
I'm not.
I want to say one more thing before we do another breakout room. When you get the signal to return, you don't have to come back immediately. I do that because it forces everybody back after 1 minute. It gives you a 60-second countdown. So don't feel like once you get that notice the breakout rooms are closing that you need to return immediately. Stay for the 60 seconds. If I told you I'd give you a minute, so if I start after a minute, then you get 2 minutes. So you see how this works. So I'm trying to keep to my word. So stay for the full minute until unless your conversation ends, that's fine. But Zoom will pull you back into the big room. Okay.
20 minutes under the gun.
I'm gonna recreate the rooms. You'll be in the room. Maybe there'll be somebody that's the same, but it should be different people.
Yeah, we're at 5.
Shabbat shalom, Harriet.